Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be upon everyone. Welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be working on the question on the screen, which is the square root of 2c squared minus 4 plus d equals 1. If in the equation above c is greater than 0 and d equals -1, what is the value of c? So the first thing you have to do is to analyze the question that you're given. You see that you're given a variable c and you're given a variable d. But in the question, just after putting down the equation, they made sure to say that c is greater than 0. Whenever you see that something is greater than 0, that means that something or that unknown number is going to be positive. If you're told that an unknown number, say c, is less than 0, that means that unknown number c equals negative. So in this case, we know that the value of our c is going to be positive, right? And then you have and d equals -1. So we already know that we have another variable in the equation d, but they just said d equals -1. So what you just have to do is to rewrite this equation, but to substitute d for -1. So you have 2c squared minus 4 minus 1 equals 1. So what I did here is plus and then d, so that will be plus minus 1. So it's just -1. I don't have to write plus -1 basically. So when we go on to do this, the smart thing to do is to isolate the information in the square root. So I'm just going to put a +1 here and a +1 here so that it's easy for us to solve. So we end up with the square root 2c squared minus 4 equals 2. So the next thing you have to do when you have a question like this is to basically simplify, and simplifying just involves squaring both sides of the equation, because the left hand side of our equation has a square root that encloses the information 2c squared minus 4, and to basically work with this we have to square it. And if you're going to square the left hand side, you have to square the right hand side. That's just how the mathematical rules work. So I'm going to have 2c squared minus 4 all square root equals to 2. So therefore, you square both sides of the equation. 2c squared minus 4 equals 4. So 2 squared is 4. So continuing this right here, we have 2c squared minus 4 equals 4. So that's 2c squared. We're going to add 4 to both sides so that we can isolate 2c squared. So that's going to be 8. So you have c squared equals 8 divided by 2, because that's the whole point. We're trying to solve for c. So we have 2 here, 1, 2 in 8, that's 4. So we have c squared equals 4. Hence, c equals the square root of 4. So c equals plus or minus 2. But guess what? They made sure to let us know that c has to be greater than 0, hence c has to be positive. So our answer is not c equals plus or minus 2. Our answer is going to be c equals to 2. So this is an SAT style problem, and I advise you guys to make sure you read through all of the problem and to know some of the twists and the tricks that comes in. So if this is an option type question, you know if there is a -2 and there's a +2, you know -2 is not going to be the answer. +2 is going to be the answer if you're dealing with a multiple choice question. Wish you guys all the very best. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.